Go.
Welcome to my show, True Talk, where we only talk the truth. I am your host, Jade, and we'll be having two guests joining us. Our first guest is the newly freed slave, Omari, and our second guest is the ex-indentured servant, Polly. Let's bring them out.
Oh.
So tell me, Omari, where you come from?
I come from a Tabian tribe in Africa where there was a strong sense of community, family, and culture.
Interesting. How did you get involved with the colonists?
Well, it all started when many white men came to my village and killed my entire family. The next thing I knew, I was chained up and forced to be a slave that worked on a plantation in New Jersey.
Well, it seems like times have been tough for you. Well, while talking about the past, Polly, where do you come from? How did you become an indentured servant and how you were treated?
Well, I was born in America, and I've been an indentured servant all my life. Matter of fact, I was forced to take on the debts of my parents and work even more years as an indentured servant because my parents died before they could complete all their years. Overall, I've been treated slightly better than slaves just because of the simple fact that I'm white. Even though I'm white, I still don't have as much rights because I'm still a powerless woman who never has a say.
Omari, Polly said that she was treated slightly better than a slave. To understand what she means, can you tell us how you were treated when you were a slave?
Being a slave was very, very bad, Jade. I would always be beaten, even if I did something by accident. One time I was even beaten unconscious by Mr. Derby, who was my owner. I was sick for many days. Not only was I badly beaten several times, I was also forced to have sex with Clay Derby, who was my son, my owner's son.
I can't even imagine having to call someone my owner. It's like slaves are treated as items. It astonishes me how people that are supposed to be saints in the South would be so cruel to others.
You are so right. The only somewhat arguable reason for slavery is that people in the South thrive off of crops, and having slaves work on the plantations is a way for people to make money. Also, the fertile soil and the hot weather in the South only profit is from agriculture. If it was up to me, slavery wouldn't be in existence. It is too bad that the only rich white men in the South can make decisions.
Polly couldn't have said it better. The only remotely close form of democracy practiced in the South is that governors and legislators that work together to make decisions. Well, now I'd like to give the audience a chance to ask questions. You in the center.
Hello, my name is Joe. I have 3 questions. My first question is for Omari. How were you able to survive and make it through all your struggles?
Hello, Joe. That's a great question. Whenever I was sad, I just thought about the good old days when I was back with my family. I also remembered what my friend Ashley had told me. She told me that I had a strong spirit and to never let it die.
Inspiring. My next 2 questions are for Polly. How did you make it to freedom and where? Also, how is your life going now?
Well, I made it to freedom with my amiga, Omari, over here. I recently learned Spanish, and my little friend, Timothy. We headed to Fort Moss. It was a long journey, but it was all worth it. We are now free and live on nature.
Well, that's all for today, folks. Let's give another hand to Omari and Polly.